Welcome back, guys. Look at that. Dead black. Like you hear one of the buzzwords in hi-fi. Dead black background. Well, let me tell you a little story about how I can relate to that and just the experience I've had in the room over the last 30 years. So, it took me a while to start to do that little test that I love to do today, and that's whatever component I have, whether it be a preamp or an integrated, to check the noise floor. I like to, when at idle, not only to check to see if the volume knob's scratchy or not, is crank it to maximum gain at idle. And just either hear from the listening chair or, ear to the driver, just the amount of noise that is coming through the system. Because at the end of the day, that's going to be what is coming through into the music. Okay, it's going to affect the presentation. Now, comparing to a live system, obviously there's a ton of that going on, and that's part of the natural feeling of a concert. But in the homes, we want a more precise presentation, right? So Class D's been around for a long time, and there's been many claims of zero distortion. It's not audible whatsoever. Well, the early Class D amps I had were actually complete opposite. They were like the Red Dragon was a company that I think the website's still up. They haven't had a piece available for over 10 years, so I don't understand why the site's up. I think they had two different levels. One was an Encore, one was an ICE module. I had the cheaper ones, which was the ICE. And guys, at idle, they were some of the loudest amps I've ever owned. Now, either there was something wrong with them or just early Class D poor design, poor build. So those didn't last long. So ever since then, I've always done that test with all the tube amplifiers I've owned. You're always going to get some kind of noise when you do that test, but I mean, it just depends how well built the unit is, right? And I've had some pretty noisy ones. You're going to get that tube rush. That's hard to not get, right? But I mean, the Line Magnetic was unbelievably quiet at a really high volume. So, people always swear by solid state because they think it's quieter and then there's zero noise. Well, that's not the case either, because I've had the Moons and the Brystons and the Names and all those other ones. And when you start to crank up that volume knob, whether it be integrated or preamp, you do hear a little bit of noise, especially with the ear to the driver. The only time I have ever experienced completely dead is with the Bel Canto. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's the designer's goal, is to allow the littlest noise as possible in the design, the least amount of distortion or noise they can possibly do. So, I mean, I'm gonna say it like there's not many amps that you can, and that matters. Like when I'm cranking up this amplifier, and it's a real 180 watts per channel, it doesn't become harsh or shouty or edgy or anything like that as I crank up the volume. Even in this smallish room, it never gets away, and that's the lack of internal noise. Noise floor is so low and distortion is so low that it even sounds better the higher you turn the volume. So don't mind the special effects I got going on here with the darkness. Just thought I'd do it a little differently. It looks clear. I mean, it looks clear. So I'd like to hear what you guys say about it. I mean, I like to have really, really quiet components, and that's why I'm loving the Bel Canto so much. And I will say the M10 is pretty much dead quiet as well at maximum volume, but this is on the digital, like using the Ethernet connection, listening to that on idle, crank to the max. Of course, the phono stage on the Bel Canto E1X, because it does low output moving coil, at maximum volume you will hear a tiny bit, which is unbelievable at 100 max on the volume. it's quite a feat, to be honest. To keep the noise that low for an MC is, we all know, it's not easy. So that's my little topic of the night here, is just how quiet is your system? Have you ever done that test? Do you do the test with components that come into your room to see how quiet they are at idle? Because that's just it's a gauge of what kind of noise is going into the musical presentation. It affects it. The separation is a lot better when I'm listening to music. It does emerge from dead blackness, right? It's just so quiet. Like when you crank up Roger Waters' Muse to Death, and you can just sit there and hear the crickets going and stuff like that. It's like you're in the planetarium or something. It's incredible, incredible. But if you got noise in your system, it's going to show itself, especially on well-recorded music like that. So that's it. I just got to say, guys, again, we're creeping up towards Christmas here. And that's all about others, as I've said. And I want you guys all to have the very best. I really appreciate the support that you guys are giving me. I'm going to keep doing this thing. It's probably not going to have much of a change ever, if at all, as the way I present on the camera. I think there might be something just to pick it up a notch, presentation-wise, I'm going to purchase. I'll let you try to guess what that is. But anyways, yeah, I just got to say, man, I can't believe I'm sitting here with even the amount, like the community that I've built. Not the sub count. I really don't care. It's how involved the people are. These people that continue to visit my channel, support the channel. That's all it is. It's not about quantity. It's the quality of the family that I've built, right? And there's a way to, like I say, I do want to make something with my channel. I want to be able to make a very small income to maybe cover the strata fee when I'm old and stuff like that. And it's already happening. So I'm just telling you, YouTubers that are out there, banging your head against the wall, getting 100, 150 views, and you've been doing this for years. Sometimes it's better just to take a couple days off, 2-3 days off. And if you're still not getting traction, sometimes it has to do with the personality. People they're not interested. And it's sad because some people work really hard at it. I think the reason people watch me, and it's not a ton of views, but I do get a fair amount. Sometimes, I've got up to 8,000 once. And this is from my own content. Like, I'm not filming anything. I'm just coming up with an idea and going with it, right? It's not even about a product most of the time. So, sometimes if something's not for you and you're putting all this energy in, it's okay to just change and realize it's not for you. It's a lot of work to do this and not get any results. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many subs you have. It matters the community that you build, and the views matter, guys. That's what matters the most. But if you got a bunch of people that just watch and they're not generous, you need to get a ton of views to make money just from watching ads on your videos. You got to build a community of people that actually believe in you and participate in the comments, because it's like a community that you built, and those comments help other people. And I learned from these people are writing letters on my comments, and you can see it for yourself. They're taking time to write these letters to me that I'm so grateful for those, because obviously my channel means something to them. So that's what you got to do. There's a way to work smart, not hard, and just be true to yourself. Try not to be, I don't know, but if it's not working, God, if I was getting 100 views, 150 views all the time, and I've been doing this for years, I'd just quit. It'd be done for me, So I don't know why it is. I just wanted to be totally original here on YouTube, and it's worked. I've carved out my own niche. People call me Shrink, and it's, I am the audio shrink. Anyways, Shrink loves you. Like and subscribe. Probably have another video before Christmas. That'd be about it, though. I'll do my live chat this Friday, 4:30 Pacific time. Hopefully see you there. Thanks a lot. Take care.